Welcome back, New Jersey football fans, to the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. My name is Mark Trible, and I'm here with my trusted co-host, colleague, cohort.
Trusted.
Yeah, trusted. Coach Tim McAneney.
Former coach Tim McAneney.
Always a coach to us.
All
We
right.
promoted as a coach. We want people to think you know what you're talking about. No, we don't put linebacker in there. We put coach.
You want them to think I know what I'm talking about.
Hey, exactly. We already got a couple people in here, Fred and Chris. Guys, I want to make sure everybody has a good time tonight. Put in your comments. Lots to talk about. Playoff action coming up. This is the last week of the public football season in New Jersey. The privates have another week before their playoffs will begin. We have a game between Holy Spirit and St. Augustine next week, which is the regular season game, while the public teams will be playing the playoffs. So lot to cover tonight. Next week, however, just so everybody knows, we're going to preview all the public brackets that we have. So that'll be, depending on how things shake out, we could have teams in the Central. We could have teams in the South. We could have 10 brackets to look at. We could have 5. We could have 8. We could have anywhere in between. But we'll look at the ones that feature South Jersey teams. And
the state tried to make it a little more Central-South centric.
No question.
Try a little bit. They're trying. But they still, we all kind of know most of the 1s and 2 seeds are Southern teams, Southern schools.
So the 1 seeds, we'll get into all that stuff. We'll look at all
Not
next week.
tonight.
The pairings will come out this weekend after all the games are complete and all the calculations have been done. One thing I do think will happen, though, Mac, is that...
But some of your math guys have already done the if
Yeah,
then.
they've done a
These
lot
guys
of-
got it pretty. Trust me, these guys got it pretty good.
I think one thing is because of the parity we've seen throughout South Jersey outside of, let's just say, Winslow, Washington Township, St. Augustine, and Glassboro, the parity we've seen, I think will allow for some very interesting matchups when geography plays a part into where teams are seated, whereas before it was truly strength indicated.
Correct.
So now, since it's not just strength and it's also geography, you could have some good 4-5, 3-6, maybe even 2-7 matchups, depending on the brackets, where in years past, we saw a lot of blowouts the first couple rounds. And I still think the 1s and 2s, for the most part, will roll through the first round. But we'll see. That's the beauty of playoff season, and that's the beauty of high school football. So guys will put on the line this week to try to either get in the playoffs or win a division or improve their seeding. There's still a lot yet to be determined. But what isn't yet to be determined is our presenting sponsor, the West Jersey Football Coaches Association. Got to thank them. They were established to promote, improve, and unite South Jersey football. In less than 4 years, they've done just that. They put on the event, the Battle at the Beach, that kicks off the season. Feels like a long time ago now with all this heat and sunburn. Now things feel a little bit chilly, Mac.
It was August.
Yeah.
Right?
August.
The craziest thing about football, it now starts in August, and we're in playoff talk in October.
Yeah.
Used to be we didn't talk playoffs till second week in November.
Yeah. The first playoff games will be on Halloween.
I'm very well aware. Some might be on the 30th.
Potentially, yeah. Anyway, I want to shout out those guys for putting us on here. They've donated a ton of money to date, 6 figures, to a number of organizations. One of them, the Touchdown Club of Southern New Jersey, of which I'm president. Very grateful for that, and grateful for them sponsoring this show. Also got to shout out Dave O'Sullivan if you're watching on Facebook on the SJ Glory Days page. He's doing a great job. Got a lot of good content there. Multiple sports. Friday nights, you can catch my column on that website, as well as Brian Tortella chipping in. Sully has a bunch of great photo galleries and all that stuff. So thank you, Sully, for giving us this platform on Facebook. And Mac, let's talk right now about the game of the week last week. I think it may have been the game of the year.
Fantastic. I was following it. I'm at the Shawnee East Side game, and I'm following you and following you guys that are there. Going, and I feel like I got a little skin in the game,
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I respect what they've done at Washington Township, Henny's my boy. So,
Yeah.
I got a little rooting interest, or a lot of rooting interest there. And it sounds like it was a good one.
It was a great game.
Great game.
Kingsway gets on the board first. Washington Township storms back. They end up taking a 17-7 lead. Kingsway scores and then gets a turnover late in the first half, makes a great drive in under 2 minutes, goes down, scores again to take a 21-17 lead. It's homecoming in Washington Township. Kind of, you're thinking, well, that's about as good as you could hope the end of the half would go for Kingsway. You go from 17-7 down to scoring at the end of the half, right, taking that lead. Really, you're hoping taking long halftime.
Yeah, taking some air out
there, right? They got the homecoming roses are giving out. This is all this stuff, and you feel like Kingsway has to feel good about it. Well, the consensus though at that time really is, well, Township should come out like the team that they are, and you think,
sure,
probably a little upset. Opening kickoff, Mason Bryan for Kingsway takes it to the house, 85 yards.
Now you're like,
extra point, Mac. You got a penalty on Washington Township, and it's a fumbled snap. So Kingsway goes for 2 and gets it, 29-17. That's 15 seconds into the second half.
Look, if you're a coach, you've had, I'm in the stands there going, man, what the best thing that could happen here? Let's return the kick and get 2.
Yeah.
And now 29-17, right?
Yep.
12, two full scores. Not right. I had dropped my pen on it. 2 full scores.
2 full scores.
Right.
Teams go back and forth, share some possessions, split some possessions. Kind of interesting from there on out. But when you get to the fourth quarter, the last 6 minutes are when things get crazy. Washington Township, quick scoring drive. They're down by 12. Get the ball. Quick scoring drive. Go down. Run the ball. I think Kingsway's thinking pass at that time. Frank Holmes sticks to what he does well. They give the ball to Colin Beeler. Boom, boom, boom. Couple passes, couple runs. Next thing you know, okay, they're in the end zone. So they get it down to 36-31. You need a stop. You need a 3 and out.
Sure.
Get the 3 and out. Kingsway, you're in a tough spot. 2nd and long. Township has the timeouts. You need the first down. You get in that zone where you have to throw on 2nd down, or it's not a bad call to throw on 2nd down, throw incomplete. You're incomplete on 3rd down. You're punting back to Township. But even at this point, Township, they're faced 3rd and long when they get the ball back.
Well, interesting. Go back. How much time? Give me
Township got the ball back.
So I'm armchairing this right now, obviously. So
yeah, I want to say, I'll look it up. Well, I don't know about 2 minutes and change.
So here's what I'm going to ask you. As much as, look, you're 2 schools of thought. You get a first down,
mm-hmm.
you can then end it.
Yep.
You throw twice and complete twice. Now again, Township has their timeouts to use, and as you said, but if they have to use them on defense, then they can't use them on offense. Obviously, now, you'd rather use them on defense anyway. It's just you look back on the situation, being able to convert in those those spots, and look, great teams, great defenses. Township does what they do. It's being able to run the football in the fourth quarter. Less than 4 minutes is a nice luxury.
All right, so I'm going back here on sjglorydays.com and reading what I wrote to figure out exactly what the time was. Township had the ball at the 35 with 3:20 left.
Okay. So, look, enough time to go, and I don't know how many timeouts. Let's say 2, right? I'm just throwing out there. So going to 65 yards with 2 timeouts is not, and they can't kick for field goal. They're going, they got to score.
But you're 3rd and long there, and you throw a pass that, it's on the far side of the field. I don't have the highlight in front of me. I think it's behind the line of scrimmage or close to it. And Darian Joyner reverses field, runs backwards. This was a video game play of a kid who knows I got to get yards.
That usually doesn't work here. That usually doesn't work.
It usually doesn't, and a lot of times there's a crackback block or block in the back or something crazy
against
happens.
the better teams. It usually, you start going backwards against a better team, you're going to end up backwards. You don't usually run around better team.
Remarkable play, a play where you could tell Joyner had a sense of the game and what they needed. 4th and long, not a great position. I got to make something happen. I got the tools, the skills to make it happen. He does. He gets them to 4th and short. Cole Aquino sneaks first down. Okay, so now you're thinking, well, they got that first down, or they got the second first down. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was the first one.
They're past midfield.
They're at the 49, as a matter of fact.
That's
Matt.
what I'm saying.
They're at the 49.
You feel good, right? You're probably less. You're at 2.5, two and change. You're at the 49. You got time. You got a timeout or two. You're good.
You're at about a minute 40 seconds, somewhere around there. Come to the line, Aquino. It's an RPO. Checks off the run. Throws the bubble to Jair Moore. Rod, I believe we have footage of what happened next. Let's just take a look.
We got the end zone. Yep.
51 to the house. On a play that
They had it.
for Washington Township, this is a play that's going to live in the history books. Undefeated season thus far. Kingsway comes in, they have one loss in a game that we've talked about all year against Camden, where about as close to winning the game as you could be, right? You drop the ball and Camden forced turnover, but 5-1 and a very good 5-1. They've been really rolling through people. Township comes off that big win in RV. You come home, it's homecoming, and you're undefeated. That play, I mean, even on that play, I know we don't have video of the Joyner play, but even on that play, Jair Moore makes like 5 guys grasp air. He breaks a tackle. There's just guys falling. They're like dominoes, falling over each other, trying to grab him. Reverses field, takes the house.
Yeah.
Remarkable play. And then I'm going to get to the end of it, because that was not the only action in the game. That's the craziest part.
No doubt.
They stop Kingsway, get the ball back, turnover on downs. Well, Washington Township's under the assumption, they were told, apparently, that Kingsway has 2 timeouts. Well, Kingsway had 3 timeouts.
Okay.
So Washington Township takes 3 knees. Kingsway takes 3 timeouts. And you're like, okay, well, Township has to punt this ball back to Kingsway.
Right.
Only one thing can't happen.
A big return.
Or
a bad snap.
Correct. Snaps high. And Parker Reese, who ran back a pick 6 last year in the sectional final, I think it was, he jumps and makes the play of his life and catches that ball one-handed as the punter and gets the punt off. And you know, Kingsway didn't end up scoring, but it came down. I mean, that the action that happened in the last 6 minutes of that game.
That's the beauty of high school football. I mean, you anything, nothing's in stone. I mean, nothing's in stone in football ever, but like even the intricacies of a long snap on a punt, you know, getting a first down, getting a guy on the ground on the bubble, you know, those opportunities that you have, the ebbs and flows of the game. You know, credit to Township, never giving up, never thinking they're out of it. Down 12, coming out of a bad situation after halftime. What's really cool is actually in this one, I think for your South Jersey fans, being both Group 5 teams, we want to see them again, and we want to see them again probably in a final. A South Jersey final.
Yeah.
Sectional, Central versus South. And with the way they do seed, if I'm not mistaken, Township probably will have the 1 seed, and they'll go to the Central, and Kingsway will be somewhere because of the northern numbers away from them. They'll be in the South.
Well, I don't know if that's the case. I still haven't verified that. So if anybody's in the chat and knows the rules, I didn't.
Kevin
do my
Minnick,
homework.
tell us, what are the rules?
Yeah, Kevin, come on.
I think I might be kind of close on that one. Either way, 2 great football teams playing a really great game. I'm thinking they're going to see each other again. Is it the game of their season? Township? Well, if they see each other again, we'll see.
You know, when a team, and I'm not putting this on Washington Township. I want to talk about Jair Moore. Stephanie Kelly's in the chat, Jair's mom. And salute to you, Stephanie, and Jair, wonderful young man. I'm going to talk about him in a second. He was also on the By the Numbers show last night on D2 Sports Network. You can watch that on YouTube here. But Mac, you know, when a team puts together that magical season, if they do, the undefeated run or when they got hot and then rolled through. But especially you think back to undefeated seasons in college, especially, this is where we see it, or in high school. There's the one game.
Yeah, usually.
Right. And I think back to, I don't remember if they won the national championship or not, but the memory at my core as a child that I remember is Missouri-Nebraska football, where Nebraska was playing in Missouri. I think Crouch was the quarterback. And they went in there, or Frost was the quarterback maybe,
Okay.
and the ball got kicked in the end zone.
Yes.
The game was over, and the kid misses it and kicks it, and it lands to another guy. And Nebraska was undefeated for forever, and I think they went on. They might have lost in the championship, but they were in the mix. But those types of plays or games or finishes where you say, after the year you look down, you say, yeah, they beat everybody, and they beat them pretty. But this one right here, what happened in that game?
Well, there's always, my dad would always say, I don't want to say impossible, but it's really difficult to go undefeated. And I think he would tell me all those years he was coaching, I think he had maybe 3 undefeated seasons, maybe, right? 4 out of, I think, 40. That's still a good amount.
Yeah.
But and in Group 4 football back then, there was no 5. So, but going undefeated, it does take a fluky situation, a hook and lateral, a funky play where you get a break or something just happens, a tipped ball somewhere. Absolutely. I mean, it's very hard to win week in and week out. But what happens is, the winners tend to start winning.
Yeah.
Like that's what's going on at not that it's not at Kingsway, but that's what's going on at Washington Township right now. They're now, they don't think of Township like this is now Township of old, right? This is now, if I'm, it's the early 2000s again, right? It's Back to the Future in that space down there. The feeling that, not that they can't lose, but we're going to win.
They'll find a way to win.
Yeah, find a way to win. We're going to find a way to win.
And
it's like that. It's not that cocky. Oh, we can't lose. We're invincible. It's like, hey, we're going to figure it out. We're going to play all 48 minutes, and we're not out of it till when it's not over till it's over.
And that goes back to a lot of those guys played when they were younger, as far as on varsity. So. And we've been seeing them play, and they, I believe in the playoffs, was it last year or the year before, they wind up losing a game that everybody felt they should have won.
Rod, I'll go back to your space. They beat Eastern in 8th grade with the Unlimiteds.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how about me pulling that one out, right? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And everybody's like, well, what's that got to do with football? Right. Well, the kids win.
Right.
Like I look at groups of winners, right? You look at a group of winners that come in that are winning, and, just because you win in 6th and 7th and 8th doesn't mean you're going to win in high school. But guess what?
But that's a good start, though.
Right? That's a good start. I've heard. Right. I'd rather have guys that come in as winners than guys that came in that weren't winning.
Right.
I mean, maybe a loss or two or a chip on the shoulder is nice too. But like these guys have been winning. Like when they, like you said, and they played young, right?
But that's what I like about what they're doing is it's a collective. It's a team. There are different type of ways you can win. A lot of teams are just more athletic than others. Some is a system.
Yep.
But this seems like they're a unit, right? If one person is falling off, somebody else is going to pick it up the next. You know what I mean? That game. So that's what I really like about this team and just watching them overall.
Well, and I think, Mac, too, to that point, you look at those last 2 drives that they put together. One of them, run heavy, great line, Beeler, great running back, boom, boom, boom. Next drive, you got Paris Pratt, the star, big receiver on one side. Well, everybody's going to focus on Paris when they got to drive down the field. So the 2 biggest plays were made by Joyner and Jair Moore, just showing what type of talent. Like Jair Moore, everybody who saw that video, that's their number 2 receiver. And this is a kid who, he came back this year after tearing ACL, MCL last year against Williams.
Still wearing a brace.
Still wearing a brace.
Yeah.
Kid comes back every day, working out, rehabbing. Coach Schatzman tells us that Rothman Institute told him this is one of the worst we've seen in terms of there's some damage in here, right? He's go through surgery. We'll see what happens. Works. Just going to play defense. Finally says, I think I could do a little bit on offense. Try to find. Anyway, to see this moment for this guy after what he had gone through, which we didn't know what he had gone through until after, and we talked to him. But then you go back and you watch that play and you think about it and you're like, I mean, to win the game at homecoming and keep your season undefeated, crazy comeback, all the stuff you did to get back on the field, man, like that is, whoo.
And part of it is, like you said, all that goes into it. It's the game of the week.
Yeah.
All the hype, the hoopla around.
The hat man's there.
The hat is there. Everybody's there.
Right? Yeah. I mean, having those opportunities, it makes it, and you don't know when that time, that place, and that situation, but like good for him and good for Township. I mean, they're on a they're on a nice little heater here, which is good for them, and it's fun. I mean, they're having fun, which practices. I know they're hard, but they're fun. It's amazing when these playoff practices come around, how much more focused the kids get, and if you can just get them over that hump of when you have a good team that wants to be great, that's some fun stuff.
Well, I'll leave you with this, and I want to give a shout out to Kay and Dwayne and Matt here in the chat who informed me that it does seem like Township would be in Central as the 1 seed, and that looks like AC right now would be the 1 seed in the South. So you're right on that, Mac.
Oh.
But I'll say this. In the post-game huddle with the team, one of Washington Township's assistant coaches, who's been there a long time, said to them, you guys have the opportunity to be the best Washington Township team ever. And I was standing next to somebody who played on a great Washington Township team and has seen a lot of great Washington Township teams. And I look at him and I'm like, and he goes, he's right.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I'm like, this is a very good team that could end up being a very great team. But that's what the playoffs are for, man.
Right,
that's where the legends are made. It could also just be another team didn't quite make it.
Yeah, and we could talk about what I don't know. It's tough to say. It's tough to compare eras and compare teams and all this stuff. We all try to do it. They do have an opportunity to do something that other Washington Township teams
never did.
State champ. True state champ. So,
it's no pressure, though.
Yeah.
It's no pressure. Hey,
no pressure. Don't watch this portion of the program. That's where the coaches cut the intro off.
Schwartzman's like, let me just have a good Wednesday practice. Or let me have a good Thursday practice, right?
Let's have a good day.
Let's have a good practice.
Big win for them. And I will say this, too. We joked about it before. How I took my picture with James Franklin and things didn't work out so well. Well, before the game, we took a picture with the Minuteman. I'm like, I think I've jinxed.
Yeah,
but then when the undefeated season looked like it was falling apart, I'm thinking, man, now I've jinxed the Minutemen.
It ends in the regular season. They're like, it's a new season, so that doesn't count.
You're okay.
They're probably going to finish out the regular season as an undefeated team going into the playoffs. The playoffs is a totally different ball game. Yeah. It's the way the game is played is totally different. The intensity of it is different. So, yeah, you're out of the woods. There's no jinx.
Saw them 2 weeks in a row. Coach Schatzman told me after the RV game they preached putting people in situations in the offseason that made them uncomfortable or made them fight adversity, or when you're playing ahead in a lot of games the last couple of years, how do you respond? And the next week, just like clockwork, we saw how they respond with their back up against the wall. So and all this to say this, Cole DeNick and Mason Bryan, David Orvetz, a couple others for Kingsway played outstanding games. I mean, DeNick forced a fumble. He scored 3 touchdowns. Yeah. Bryan had an interception, a touchdown catch, and a kickoff return.
Dude,
Kingsway left it all on the field, And, a couple plays here or there, which those guys certainly had nightmares about, and they would have pulled the upset.
We're talking about them potentially pulling off an upset, but when you think about it, and this is something good for coach, Kingsway's coach, is you're literally a couple of minutes away from being an undefeated team.
Oh, no doubt.
So we're right there. We just got to figure out how to close it out. Like let's finish it.
Yeah. Kingsway probably could be the 1 seed on the other side of the bracket, but they won't be because of these 2 losses. And now, early on, Kingsway might be a 3 seed. Someone's Kingsway's going to go to Atlantic City probably for the South Jersey section, right?
They get there, yeah.
And Atlantic City's going to be like, really? We're hosting these guys? So, yet to be seen. I know, getting ahead of myself, but yeah, they're a really good football team.
Yeah. So that was the game of the week, and we've had some good game of the weeks this year. We've had some that, quite frankly, didn't live up to the billing. This one definitely regular season game of the year that I've seen, no question. So we got a lot of other action to cover from last week. We're going to go through all that stuff. We're going to have our knots of the week. We got somebody who had an incredible night last Friday night that really if I'd been in the building there, he definitely would have gotten the hat. So we're going to make sure we show what he did. And we're going to take a look at next weekend, talk some playoffs, talk some rankings. So sit tight, stay tuned. Right after this, we'll be back with the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. The West Jersey Football Coaches Association was established to promote, improve, and unite football in South Jersey. In less than 4 years, the association created the Battle at the Beach and has dedicated itself to helping others. The association has donated close to $100,000 to date to provide scholarships through the National Football Foundation and the Touchdown Club of Southern New Jersey. The group has also donated to the charity Philly Faces, which helps those in need of facial reconstruction surgery. Thank you to the West Jersey Football Coaches Association for their sponsorship of the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by Capstone Medical Services, a dedicated team of experienced healthcare professionals with a strong presence at the youth, middle school, high school, collegiate, and post-collegiate levels. They specialize in athletic training services and sports medicine for youth, high school, collegiate, and adult sports, event EMT and paramedic coverage for events and gatherings of all types and sizes, ensuring everyone's safety, injury prevention and workplace injury programs for commercial and industrial organizations, American Red Cross training, ideal for coaches, youth group leaders, church organizations, businesses of all sizes, and school districts. At Capstone, they are committed to delivering exceptional medical services that exceed expectations. No team will work harder or more passionately for you or your athletes. They proudly serve athletes of all ages, schools, businesses, and event organizers, ensuring the health and safety of every individual in every setting. Whether on the field, at work, or during special events, Capstone is here to protect, support, and serve because your safety is our top priority. To learn how Capstone Medical Services can support your school, organization, or event, call 855-EVENT-CMS or visit capstonemedicalservices.com. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by SRA Home Products. South Jersey, let me tell you about my friends over at SRA Home Products. SRA has been building sunrooms, pergolas, and patio covers for over 25 years. They've built more than 9,000 projects in the Delaware Valley alone. And I've had the opportunity to be around Mike Fody, the owner, and I have nothing but the best things to say about Mike and his crew. SRA is a gold accredited member of the Better Business Bureau under the elite provider status with Home Advisor, and they've racked up a number of Best of South Jersey awards in the past. They also contribute to multiple sport associations and are huge supporters of Williamstown football. Find them online at srahomeproducts.com.
Enthusiastic about football? Become a part of the NJFOA South Football Association and team up with us to officiate high school football. Join us on the field, Our cadet class kicks off in March. Register on our website or by scanning the QR code in this ad. Put the stripes on and join us on the gridiron today.
Welcome back, New Jersey football fans, to the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. Talk about what happened last week in South Jersey. We start off Thursday night. Cherry Hill East 42, Deptford 0. Cherry Hill East remains undefeated. All 42 points in the first half for the Cougars. So they were out big to begin with and decided to coast it on in the second half. Josh Greenberg threw for 3 touchdowns. He ran for 2. Haddon Township 43, Gloucester Catholic 20. Jace Torres with 4 rushing touchdowns for the Hawks. Millville 55, Cherokee 28. This one was on our radar of a game to watch, and Millville made it a game to watch only for those wearing blue and orange, not orange and brown. Robbie O'Connor, 10 for 14, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. Reggie Holly, 3 rush touchdowns. He also had 7 receptions, 155 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's had an outstanding season for the Bolts. Haddonfield rolls Gloucester 38-9. Brody Leonard, 15 carries, 144 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Cormac Flanagan, this guy was like an all-South Jersey caliber and in some places recognized all-South Jersey punter last year. But he gets it done everywhere, man. He has a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown for the Haddons. Friday, big night for Dom Del Grippo and the Buccos, the Cinnamons, and they win 42-7. Dom runs 12 times, 156 yards, 4 touchdowns. He has a receiving touchdown and a pick 6 for Coach Patrizzi's bunch. Pennsauken gets right after that loss to Shawnee. They beat Cherry Hill West 25-7. Another Mac Bowl, Mac, right? Your dad was at West, and he went over to Saucon.
Yeah. It's always interesting to see those two teams play. There used to be a Thanksgiving game back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then it switched to Saucon Eustis?
Correct. It was back to, up until 70, I'm going to say 78-ish. Because then he started playing West. As a matter of fact, Cherry Hill West, I remember Tom Meyer made an interception in the end zone. Eddie Brown, quarterback for West back in the day. One of the few times West beat Pennsauken in 1977.
Wow.
Did not make it the 8-year-old Tim McAneney very happy.
Still remembering that one.
Well, it kind of literally ruins Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's,
that was way back before you made the gravy.
Yes. No doubt.
Let me tell you, he makes some great gravy on Thanksgiving. I can tell from personal experience.
That's the key. We'll talk about that as November gets closer.
In the Battle of the Creeks, Cedar beats Timber 49-14. Frenchman Bethea 5 for 5, 120, 2 touchdowns. Amir Dunbar 10 carries, 142 yards, 3 touchdowns for the Pirates. Highland gets by Vineland 20-17. 2 touchdowns total for quarterback Elijah Capra. Willingboro beats Pleasantville 47-22. This kind of threw a wrench in the West Jersey Football League Continental Division race. I got to give a big shout out to Willingboro. They lost 4 in a row, but they improved every week. If you go back and look at their scores, Eastside, Haddonfield, Gloucester, Paul to 6. Getting better, right? Coach Kenny Scott, hats off to you, man. You kept things together. The last 3 weeks, they beat Timber Creek, Woodbury, and Pleasantville by an average score of 44-9. This is a team that, you weren't quite sure what you're going to get out of them. They're hitting their stride at the right time. Pleasantville hadn't given up very much on defense the last 3 weeks. Willingboro goes for 47 in that game. St. Joe Hamilton beats Oakcrest 23-20. Anthony Salamone, 11 for 27, 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also ran for a score. Sterling shuts out Lindenwold 20-0. Briley Cervantes Sharp, 13 carries, 157, and a touchdown. Eastern rolls Clearview 47-6. Nick Cureri, 7 for 7, 129, a touchdown. Pick 6, scoop and score, and a punt return touchdown. Did Nick do all that? I think I may have deleted a name. Or Nick did all that. I don't know. Chris Baker, let me know. Triton 27, EHT 0. Jake Mannion throws for 160 and 2 touchdowns and runs for another one. Bordentown 31, Florence 7. Trey Lee throws for 2 touchdowns. Connor Bramley caught both of them. Absegami 47, Middle Township 14. Logan Simpson, 8 carries, 191, 3 touchdowns. Excellent game, Logan. Shawnee Eastside, Mac was there. Cole Anderson, 18 carries, 113 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brent Lundberg, 18 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown. 38-13. They beat Eastside. I don't know of a team, Mac, that has run more versus pass this year than Shawnee, man. It has been just the run attack. They are the road graders, aren't they?
Well, I mean, you have Anderson at quarterback who, he reminds you of the old single wing type quarterback, right? Like a Tebow type. When he finishes his runs too, he lowers his shoulder and boom. And then, first 4 weeks, Lundberg was out, and he falls for 5 yards. Yeah. Go back, play the game here though. You look at it, the score says that Shawnee they didn't control the game. I think the total yardage in this was over close to 800 yards, both teams combined. I think Shawnee had close to 4-something, Eastside 3-something. But big play. Shawnee's up 7-0. Eastside and Shawnee's kicking out of their own end zone, punting the ball. When the ball's on the 5-yard line, the punt, Oliver Young punts the ball. Eastside muffs the fumble, fumbles the ball. What's Tyler Nichols, of course, scoop, score, goes the distance. It's literally a 109-yard football play, which now makes it 14-0. I'm not saying game over, but when you're a team that has had some hard knocks, hard breaks, etc., like Eastside has, that's a tough deal to do.
You can advance them up.
You know what? I think in high school you can. Like, I didn't think, I was like in the stands and myself. I'm like, I know you can't in the NFL or in college anyway, but they did, and nobody was ranting about it. But again, Bartasius, another interception. It's just the kids get. I think he's 6 on the year so far, and he's not
clutch.
He's been in the right place, right time, all the time.
It was Terry Cook, of course it was. He's done it all this year for Eastern. I did delete his name. I apologize, Terry, when I was doing this a little late at night. He had the pick 6, the scoop and score, and the punt return touchdown. So 3 knots for Mr. Cook, who's had a heck of a year. And looking at Shawnee here, Mac, thanks to NJ.com, thanks to Kevin Minnick and Bill Evans and company. Shawnee has 220 passing yards per this season, but 290 rushes for 1,833 yards is what it has here. I don't think that's. I think that might be even short.
So what the math tells you, right? Are they missing?
But just what we have in here, you can tell by ratio. It's.
Oh yeah, they're 90%. They're 90% of their yards are on the ground. I think they definitely have. I think over close to 20. That's probably like 2,200. I think they have more total yards than that. But yeah, they've been a run dominant team. They opened it up a little more against the week prior.
Pennsauken.
A little bit. But they run that spread with the zone read. So you got opportunities with Cole to run, Anderson running the ball, and Lundberg, and and Nichols. We talked about last week. Nichols averages 50 yards a touch, on both sides of the ball. His scoops and scores, his punt returns, the short fields he creates. So I get it. They've been. I'm not defending a run-oriented team because I like running the ball. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when you're starting drives, inside the other team's 20 and 30-yard lines off of like snaps and fumbles and punt returns and kickoff returns, control the football, take care of the football, and don't turn it over. And good things will happen. So, but as we talk about, they're probably going to have to throw a little more come playoff time.
Yeah. Well, they're certainly going to. The play action game certainly has a strong basis, right? It should be set up to work at this point in time with the season they've had. Everybody,
if you're gonna stop, there's no sneaker. You gotta put a bunch in the box to stop. Yeah, to play against Shawnee.
Winslow 41, Mainland 6, Jalen Parker 15-20, 290 and 5 touchdowns. Quade Hendricks 4 receptions, 119 and 2 touchdowns. Boomer Helton 4 receptions, 101, 2 touchdowns. Burlington City 42, Mapleshade, 0. Mason Shanzy, big night, 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Dante Davis, 181 on the ground with 3 scores. Glassboro remains undefeated. They beat Shalleck 35-7. Jack O'Connell, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns passing. Xavier Sabb, 2 receiving touchdowns. Holy Spirit, 48. Ocean City, 0. Ty Costabile throws for 149, 2 touchdowns. Emmanuel Gerena, 3 receptions, 100 yards, and a touchdown. 2 pick sixes, and he had 2 two-point conversions. Lower Cape May, 13. Cumberland, 7. Kip Cooper, Norcross, 20. Holy Cross, 12. Pennsville, 44. Lawrence, 6. Ryland Hardy, 17 carries, 205 yards, 3 touchdowns. Seneca, 27. Paul 6, 14. Anthony Tirico, 5 for 10 passing, 113 and a touchdown. Okay, that's pretty good. But how about rushing ball? 32 carries, 247, 3 touchdowns?
Think he slept well?
I mean, his stats are just, he's a heck of a player. His stats are unbelievable.
He accounted for 360 yards.
Yeah, that's right.
Talk about running single wing.
42 snaps were him.
Yeah.
Right? Passing or running.
Right? Tackle that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, when did you think we'd be sitting here and I'm telling, and a Scuderi offensive team, I'm telling him that he should be throwing the ball. I don't know if he watches or listens, but if you know Dennis Jr., Dennis does like to chuck it. So, or you know what? Dennis is a football guy. He likes to get yardage anyway. Him and Gush, they don't care. Whatever it takes. They don't care. Him and Gush, however you can get it done, get it done.
That's
Old
right.
school.
Last week we talked about the run that Williamstown had a great 2 weeks put together, but a young team. Well, Delsey takes them down 13-7. Sometimes a young team is no. Feeling good about yourselves, it's still sometimes you got to buckle down. So Milo Gebhardt and Adrian Shepard each run for a touchdown for the Crusaders in that one. Bishop Eustace 25, Wildwood 14. Eric Beach throws for 393 and 3 touchdowns. Delano Mann, 11 receptions, 284 and 3 touchdowns. Salem beats rival Woodstown. They do it with authority, 47-0. Troy Carey, Kashmir Parsley, and Isaiah Santiago, they all run for 2 touchdowns. Collingswood 28, Camden Catholic 24. John Antrilli throws 13-16, 127, 2 touchdowns. Terrence Goffney runs for 178 and has a kick return for touchdown for Collingswood.
Got my boy Coach Martino trying to get off the snide there. It was tough. They were up at half.
Collingswood storms back. I think they're in the playoff mix, right? In Group 2.
They had to win the game to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Catholic could have played the spoiler on that one. Some little Catholic's very young. They got a lot of young. They got freshmen playing, sophomores. They're a very young team. Just made some tweaks, make some mistakes at the end. You can't do when you're trying to win that first game for them. So,
and the team that got the kick return touchdown, right?
Knots usually win.
They usually do. Bridgeton 28, ACIT 0. Stephen Little has 2 interceptions. Dante Howell throws for 3 touchdowns, runs for another one for the Bulldogs. Gateway 40, Mastery Charter 20. DJ Bink throws for a touchdown, runs for 2 more for the Gators. Saturday, a big one down at Paulsboro. West Defford takes the Mayor's Cup, or the Mayor's Trophy. 14-0. Brady Cobb throws 2 touchdowns, and the defense for the Eagles stands tall and shuts down the Raiders. Buna scores 53. Palmyra only 20. Anthony Muzzarelli, 14 carries, 134, 3 touchdowns. George Massey, 2 interceptions. One of them he ran back for 6. Our guy Axel Bailey wouldn't be a show this year without mentioning Axel Bailey from Overbrook. 17 carries, 211, 3 touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown as they beat Audubon 48-18. Camden rolls Lenape 48-14. Ahmad Jones 17-19, 261, 4 touchdowns. Azir Pagan, 2 receiving touchdowns. AC survives the upset bid from Hamilton, 13-7. Kyrie Barksdale and Ahmad Chambers each run for touchdown for the Vikings. Woodbury slips by Pennsgrove 9-8. Delram beats Haddon Heights 38-21. Nick Peen runs for 149, 3 touchdowns. St. Augustine, 28 unanswered, I believe, against Rancocas Valley. Defense shuts it down the second half. They win 28-14. Roman Coney worth the price of admission, folks. Great running back. 32 carries, 135, 3 touchdowns as the Hermits continue to march through the season. Burlington Township 27, Northern Burlington 14. Eddie McNair, the freshman, throws for 178 yards and a touchdown. He runs for one as well. Aiden Binns, 25 carries, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. And we got to give our guy T-Bird, Terrence Barnes up at Riverside. We got to give him a shout out. 23 carries, 156 and a touchdown. Dean Potts, 2 rushing touchdowns as Riverside beats Pemberton 38-6. And now it's time for our Knots of the Week. That's all right. Hit the right one. Location, location, location. There's no better location than the football field, but for all your other real estate needs, call Ashley Franchini. Do not make a mistake when you're looking for real estate, folks. Reach out to Ashley at 609-233-6116 or at franchinirealestate.com. Thank you, Ashley, for sponsoring the Knots of the Week. All right, so here we go, Mac. First, we got Jacob Doherty here for Haddon Township. Oh, he read that perfectly.
Yeah.
Lights look good.
That's a tough throw.
Across the field.
Across the field. That's a tough throw.
Now, number 1, we got our guy, Emmanuel Jarena from Holy Spirit. Look at that jump. He takes that thing 31 yards for Holy Spirit as they rolled Ocean City. He wasn't done there, Mac. No. He wasn't. He said, what's 1 pick six when I can have 2? I'll jump that. I'll take that to the house. This kid, pound for pound, when healthy, is one of the best players in South Jersey. He jumps off the page every time you watch him. His brother was a great tight end at Holy Spirit, and he's been a great player at Holy Spirit as well. Really, really tough kid. Sully has a column about him on sjglorydays.com about what he did last week in that game and kind of the makeup that he has. Matt Best, Amir Dunbar is getting it done for Cedar Creek every week. There's no question about that. Cedar Creek, they just have gotten stronger and stronger as the years gone on. Coach Melody's done a great job. There's a lot of interesting, it's interesting to see how these matchups are going to shake out. And you got Group 3, it seems like to us, or to me, to be Group 2 and Group 3 and probably the most wide open of the groups that we have in South Jersey, I would say.
Yeah, I would think.
And that's saying, you have a handful of contenders you look at, and then that's about as wide open as it gets nowadays when you're talking about sectional or state championships. 5, I think you got, you're looking at Washington Township, Atlantic City, Kingsway. You got a couple other teams there that, can always bring their hard hat. You got the Cherokees.
Cherry Hill East, too, has
Cherry Hill East undefeated. Has a great season. They want to get back in there and get their taste. So Group 5 is strong this year, I would say. In Group 1, you got Glassboro. In Group 4, you got Winslow. And, if those teams fall, the team that will beat them, we'll be talking about an upset.
No doubt.
You can say about that. But we're going to talk about all that stuff next week again. We got to talk about this weekend. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause real quick. We're going to go talk about the games that are coming up this weekend, what's at stake, what's on the line. Be sure to share the show out to your friends, your family members, all that stuff. And as Matt Best says, any given Friday or Saturday or even Thursday, and on this show, it's any given Wednesday night. That's what we say before the show starts. Mac, any given Wednesday night, this may be the show that gets us syndicated.
Send to what?
Exactly. So stay tuned. Sit tight. We'll be right back. Share it out to your friends. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. The West Jersey Football Coaches Association was established to promote, improve, and unite football in South Jersey. In less than 4 years, the association created the Battle at the Beach and has dedicated itself to helping others. The association has donated close to $100,000 to date to provide scholarships through the National Football Foundation and the Touchdown Club of Southern New Jersey. The group has also donated to the charity Philly Faces, which helps those in need of facial reconstruction surgery. Thank you to the West Jersey Football Coaches Association for their sponsorship of the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by Capstone Medical Services, a dedicated team of experienced healthcare professionals with a strong presence at the youth, middle school, high school, collegiate, and post-collegiate levels. They specialize in athletic training services and sports medicine for youth, high school, collegiate, and adult sports. Event EMT and paramedic coverage for events and gatherings of all types and sizes, ensuring everyone's safety. Injury prevention and workplace injury programs for commercial and industrial organizations. American Red Cross training, ideal for coaches, youth group leaders, church organizations, businesses of all sizes, and school districts. At Capstone, they are committed to delivering exceptional medical services that exceed expectations. No team will work harder or more passionately for you or your athletes. They proudly serve athletes of all ages, schools, businesses, and event organizers, ensuring the health and safety of every individual in every setting. Whether on the field, at work, or during special events, Capstone's here to protect, support, and serve because your safety is our top priority. To learn how Capstone Medical Services can support your school, organization, or event, call 855-EVENT-CMS or visit capstonemedicalservices.com. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by SRA Home Products. South Jersey, let me tell you about my friends over at SRA Home Products. SRA has been building sunrooms, pergolas, and patio covers for over 25 years. They've built more than 9,000 projects in the Delaware Valley alone. And I've had the opportunity to be around Mike Fody, the owner, and I have nothing but the best things to say about Mike and his crew. SRA is a gold accredited member of the Better Business Bureau under the elite provider status with Home Advisor, and they've racked up a number of Best of South Jersey awards in the past. They also contribute to multiple sport associations and are huge supporters of Williamstown football. Find them online at srahomeproducts.com.
Enthusiastic about football? Become a part of the NJFOA South Football Association and team up with us to officiate high school football. Join us on the field. Our cadet class kicks off in March. Register on our website or by scanning the QR code in this ad. Put the stripes on and join us on the gridiron today.
All right, folks, there's one weekend left of public school football, regular season football at least, in New Jersey. It is ahead of us this weekend. After that, it's going to be the postseason. As I mentioned earlier, the non-pubs, they get a little bit of a leeway before their postseason starts. But there's one weekend left. I'm going to be honest with you. I looked around here. There's a lot of games that you think this team's coming in off a loss, this team's coming in off a loss. There isn't that Washington Township Kingsway battle that everybody would declare as the game of the week, no questions asked. Getting texts from other reporters this week. What game are you thinking about going to? What game I don't know. Maybe this one, maybe that one. It's just kind of like next week when you take your kids out trick or treat and you reach in the pumpkin and just kind of see what comes out. Right? Could be a Kit Kat Mac. Could be M&Ms.
The key is neighborhood. But
We'll talk
about trick or treat.
But you're not sure what you're going to get. And I think this weekend has some games where there's a lot on the line.
And Forrest Gump in it?
Forrest Gump in it. I want to focus on the West Jersey Football League Continental Division real quick. This is a league right now where you have Seneca and Haddonfield are tied with their league record at 3-1 at the top. Pleasantville's at 2-2. Paul VI is at 2-2. Gloucester's at 1-3, and Willingboro's at 1-3. Here's the matchups you have this weekend. Thursday night at 7 p.m., Willingboro at Seneca. Talk about how hot Willingboro's been. Talk about Tarico's been putting up massive numbers for the Golden Eagles. Two playoff teams, right? You got Group 3 and you got a Group 2. Willingboro Group 2, Seneca Group 3. So Willingboro 1-3, but they're playing well. Could play some spoiler for Seneca, who's looking to clinch at least a share of the division championship. Friday night, 6 p.m., you have Pleasantville and Gloucester. Well, Pleasantville, with a win, if Seneca loses, still alive for a share of the title. They do have shared titles in West Jersey Football League. There is no tie-breaking procedure. It's just shared titles if you have the same record in your division. So Pleasantville coming off a rough loss to Willingboro, was playing really well 3 weeks before that. Gloucester, playing well this year, rough loss against Haddonfield last week. Two teams trying to get right. Gloucester trying to play spoiler. Pleasantville may still have division championship hopes on the line Friday night, depending on what happens with Seneca on Thursday night. Then you got Paul VI at Haddonfield, 7 p.m. on Friday. Paul VI, another one. If Seneca loses, they have a shot, right? Haddonfield would have a shot to win it outright or to share it if Seneca wins. So if Seneca were to lose on Thursday,
It'd be a three-way tie.
if Haddonfield were to lose on Friday,
A three-way tie.
no, my friend, that would be a four-way tie.
Oh, there you go. Four. I'm sorry. I got Paul VI, Pleasantville, Haddonfield, and Seneca.
If let me go through this again. If Willingboro wins Thursday,
Willingboro's got to beat
if
Seneca.
Pleasantville wins Friday, and if
Paul VI wins
Friday, you have a four-way tie and in a 6-team division.
That's a mess.
These guys are going back and
I
forth
know.
all year.
In a good way. Now I think they should have tiebreakers. That's why I said it was a mess.
I think they should as well, head-to-head, right?
Yeah, head-to-head. Whoever.
But then after head-to-head, then where do you go? So I think that should just be head-to-head or it's shared.
Head-to-head shared, no doubt.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Who did Seneca lose to? 3-1?
Seneca lost to
Haddonfield, right?
Haddonfield, correct. Yeah. Haddonfield lost to Pleasantville. Pleasantville lost to Willingboro. And Paul VI, I guess?
No, Seneca, didn't they?
I don't know. Anyway, Continental Division is crazy. I mean, that's something to watch this weekend.
That is crazy.
Other than where teams shake out is
just one division.
I literally just printed off Gridiron, New Jersey, just printed the rankings. I'm like, I'm not going to remember this. There's no point even typing it down. Other big games on Friday, got Williamstown at Kingsway. Two teams coming off rough losses last week. That's at 6 p.m. St. Augustine and Millville, that's at 6 p.m. A lot of familiarity there. They played some big games over the years. Cedar Creek at Ocean City. It's not, if you want to see Cedar Creek before the playoffs start, get yourself a little taffy, 6 p.m. Delsey at Mainland, 6 p.m. And then for the West Jersey Football League United Division Championship on Saturday morning, Kip Cooper Norcross Academy, 5-0 in their division, at this guy right here, his alma mater, Bishop Eustace.
Yep.
Undefeated also in the division.
The winner wins
11
the division.
a.m.
Winner wins the division?
For the division.
Winner take all.
Winner take all for the United title. Wow. When's the last time Eustace won a division?
I don't know the answer to that. You just throw these questions at me. Well, if Kevin Minnick isn't in the chat, sometimes we don't. Well, Chuck Langerman used to be in here. He would tell us everything.
We won it in 6, and then Cormier's group won it, I think, in 9, 10. It can't be that. They've had to win a division since.
I don't know, but they have a shot to win one Saturday.
There you
Mac.
go. Wow.
I can tell you I might be able to tell you the last time next week when we meet here if they win that game on Saturday.
Well, we know Kip Norcross Academy has not won a division.
Correct.
I don't think. Pretty sure. They've only been 2 years old, right? 3 years.
I think they've been around less than they have names, right? 4 names, 2 years.
Yeah, you got
That's about right.
I mean, talk about you got a chance to win a division championship. You're undefeated. I saw them earlier in the season against West Deptford, and they were outmanned in that game, but they kept coming back because they put up some big numbers too this year. So We'll see. Game of the week, I'm going to go to Haddonfield on Friday night. Paul VI at Haddonfield. Haddonfield with a chance, the way things shake out, it could be a division championship outright for them they'd have on the line. Paul VI obviously would be wanting to play spoiler and get a share. Depending on what happens with Seneca, we'll see. But that Continental Division, Paul VI at Haddonfield, these schools to drive, it's like 11 minutes, but they're only like 2 miles apart. It might be quicker to walk.
It's a quicker walk to go from Haddonfield to Paul VI, no doubt. Sure it is.
Haddonfield's a team, Paul VI's been up and down this year, but Haddonfield's a team that really has been coming on. And I like where they're at. I like where they're at going in the Group 2 playoffs, a place where they're always a tough out in the playoffs. And Paul VI, look, they need to get some things right when they look at what happened last week against Seneca and where they want to, try to win a game or two in the playoffs. We'll see. Best 11 rankings. Mac, I got no change, no notes, no changes.
No changes, no notes, nothing, nothing of.
We only have one team lose in the best 11.
Who was that?
It was Kingsway. And they were playing Washington Township on the road.
I guess what I would look at when I'm looking at this, wouldn't you think Kingsway's higher than 8?
You'd think so.
I mean, but you were like, where are you going to put them?
It boils down to when you look at some.
I know they lost to Camden.
They lost to Camden, so they can't. Well, I don't know. Some say they can.
I mean, why? Some would argue, wouldn't you put them in front of Township or Cedar Creek?
Well, the thing that I will say is this: Burlington Township hasn't lost.
Right, Burlington Township hasn't lost, and
Cedar Creek hasn't lost in area.
In area, they only have one loss.
I get it. I'm being as devil's advocate here, right? Washington Township's the number one public school, or excuse me, right behind Winslow. You got Winslow, you got Washington Township. So they're like, they're the two big daddies right now. And think about it. And Kingsway's lost on a fumble at the end of the game to a really good Camden team.
Well,
and they lost to our second best team in South. I'm just fodder.
Here's what I'd say.
I'm stirring it. It's
a ton of people that think that way.
I'm just stirring it.
Here's what I'd say. When you look at the grand scheme of things, you're talking about in-area games. Mm-hmm. Kingsway lost 2 heartbreakers to very good teams, but their schedule hasn't provided them with a team to beat where you can say this is what you hang your hat on.
They don't have a quality win, is what you're telling me.
Quality win.
They didn't beat Oregon at Oregon.
They beat Donovan Catholic in the opener.
They didn't beat Oregon or Iowa at Iowa.
Right. So I think in terms of the rankings, that hurts them when you've got Cedar Creek beat Atlantic City. Burlington Township hasn't lost.
Quality wins. Undefeated, quality wins. I get it. No, I'm not.
No, I just think that's the reasoning for it.
Yeah,
I think you could make the case. It's like power rankings in NFL or whatever. You go on there, some of them have teams at like 14 that another one has at 3 because or not maybe that high, but whatever your justification is, the way you're looking at it. I mean, we went through about a 2 or 3 week span here where everybody's...
You could have flipped a coin.
Everybody's rankings were massacred and laying on the side of the road.
Well, look,
you had to pick them up and kind of drag them in here.
Look, reality. I'm going to drop a reality bomb here.
That's the truth.
All right, I'm going to.
Rankings don't matter.
Well, they don't matter. They don't matter because you're not playing. Look at the schedules.
It's all subjective because of.
Look at the comparatives. I don't want to look at the schedules they're playing.
Right.
I mean, you could have an SEC schedule. You could have 2 or 3 losses and still be one of the top teams.
But that's what I think is keeping Kingsway in the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Is that they don't have a quality win,
quality losses,
but they got quality losses,
right?
And it's kind of like it's like what are we doing?
And he's like, come on, man. hey, Mark, that's a quality. He's like, Mac, there's no such thing as a quality loss.
I got two. You know,
I get it. Listen, I get it. I'm just saying. Can you believe the Hoosiers are number 2 in the country?
I can't.
Is that crazy?
Who's number 1?
The Buckeyes. Honestly,
these guys.
I sound like our boy on Saturday. the Ohio State. But here's the deal. I think that I'm going to see this weekend. I'm heading out to go see the Hoosiers play UCLA at the Rock.
Newheisel.
That's a tricky game.
It is a tricky game. Now,
Newheisel.
Newheisel's doing a great job calling the offense. I will tell you this: it's less tricky because UCLA has won 3 in a row. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to. I wouldn't think sneak up on the Hoosiers.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, saying that, Hoosiers, you're hopefully they're not reading their clippings. They're number 2 in the country, which is crazy as being the Indiana Hoosiers. But to your point, Rod, I think it's right now in college football, it's Ohio State, and everybody else is in a bucket.
Mm.
I mean, you got quality wins in Hoosiers. Beating Oregon at Oregon, you beat Iowa at Iowa. The Illinois win was big. The Penn State win. The Penn State game now, November 8th, doesn't look as like that was going to be the game. But here's the deal: Don't they? Won't the way the Big Ten works? One vert plays 2 in the championship, right?
Yes.
There's no East and West. There's no divisions
Did they
anymore.
switch that again?
Yeah, there's no
They switched it
division.
again.
I think it's
Okay.
1 versus. It's like the Big 12, 1 versus 2 now. And Ohio State doesn't play Indiana this year, except I think they might. They're destined to play in the Big Ten championship.
That'd be good. He's a good coach, though. They have a really good coach.
Look,
He turned around JMU. I mean,
I think, look, I'm Indiana football aside that I'm, got a spot for. It just shows you when he came in and brought his players. Football is that type of sport. You need dudes, but if you have dudes that have played together, teams, Washington Township, that play together, have played with each other for those years, and now have something special going. The Cheryl East has undefeated.
Yeah.
Programs that do these things. The townships, doing what they're doing. Burlington Township, besides Washington Township.
Yeah.
That's real. That's real. And you bring in kids that play well together and that believe in each other and trust in each other. I mean, that's a little bit of championship fiber. Now, what Ohio State has is they got all those sprinkles, and they got dudes and dudes and dudes.
As a O State fan, I haven't been the most confident going into every week, only because of quarterback Julian Sands. He's young. But now they're starting to let him showcase why he was the number 1 quarterback coming out of high school. So,
Rod, they went in Wisconsin and won 27-0.
Yeah, but that's where Wisconsin. They're. I mean, my guy Luke Fickell, he's probably gonna get fired after this year.
They tried to change the DNA of that school, and you can't.
You can't.
You got a lot of cheese up there.
Right.
You can't.
Big 6'9" linemen and run the ball.
Run.
That's it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Run 13 personnel and get under center with 3 tight ends and run the football.
The run runs.
The run, as Nick calls them, the run runs.
Yes.
Oh man, we're playing college football now. I mean, you talk about Ole Miss. Kiff does. The kids like playing for Kiff. Yeah. That's for sure.
We talking about college football. Penn State fire Franklin. The talk is they're looking at our guy Franny. That's we're just talking about this just for conversational piece.
Yeah.
Coach, you're in that position. You went to Syracuse. You start changing. You have success. Penn State comes knocking, or South Carolina knocks on your door.
Well, look, South Carolina, SEC, right? Penn State is one of the, that's a pinch me job, right? That's what?
Yeah.
If Franny gets offered Penn State,
You cannot turn down Penn State to stay at Syracuse.
Listen,
You cannot do that.
I'm not a.
If you want to go to Arkansas or South Carolina or UCLA or somewhere else instead of, that's your call.
I'd be whispering.
But you cannot stay at Syracuse.
Yeah, I'm not a Penn State fan,
in my opinion.
Right, me either. But I respect them though.
I respect. That's what I mean. But I'd be like this. If I'm his buddy, I'd be whispering, going, "White out, White out." What do they play? The Mo Bamba at the White House?
Yeah.
White out. Right.
Yeah. College football right now, they're firing coaches in the middle of the season. They're going younger. They want guys who are going to bring in that spark. And
when you've got the amount of money that's invested in these rosters and in the,
I still think they did Franklin wrong, but
I agree.
I think they did him wrong too. He's won a S ton of games, right? And what's his? The diehards will be like, well, he can't win the big one. Well, what makes it the big one? He's made it the big one. If he wasn't winning 9, 10, 11 games, it wouldn't be a big one. It'd just be whatever. But this Penn State. They need a couple. They need more. Dare I say, they need some dogs. Man, they need LeVar Arrington back. Like, they need that guy. And, they got some, but I don't,
Well, it's a different game now, and Franklin recruited as well as really anybody can, right? I mean, you're talking about a guy who they won back-to-back 9-win seasons at Vanderbilt. I know the guy there is winning, but when Franklin took over, they were not winning anything there.
Yeah.
He comes to Penn State. It's not the best situation at the time he gets there. O'Brien was there for a couple of years out of the scandal.
Yes.
I mean, you talk about dudes. I mean, Abdul Carter was on it. I mean, go down the line. Every year, Micah Parsons, every year they have a top 10 pick is coming from Penn State.
I get it.
Chop Robinson. So the dudes have been there.
No,
dudes and dogs.
I think they've hurt
listen,
themselves with their wide receivers have been hurting them for a number of years. That's what I think.
I think what it is when you're saying dudes, right?
Dudes and dogs.
Georgia dudes are different than Penn State dudes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Alabama, different. Ohio State,
so
different.
you
get what I'm saying? Like
I
they've
agree,
had
but
great
I
players.
agree.
You're a receiver growing up in Dade County, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You going Ole Miss or you going to Penn State?
Well,
I mean, now with NIL, it's different. Like if you get,
typically you will go to the SEC team.
That's what I mean.
However, and this is great conversation because it kind of goes into the high school landscape that we're in right now with coaches. Definitely. James Franklin recruiting at Penn State versus a Fran Brown having an opportunity to recruit at Penn State. They're bringing in Fran would bring in a little bit different caliber of players. Yeah. So that question of going to Dade County, getting somebody out of Miami, Northwestern, Fran's proven he can do it at Syracuse.
Right.
So you give him that at a Penn State. Okay. It's like
I'm gonna ask the question.
Now we get dudes.
I'm going after dark here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Penn State going to? I was shocked that Penn State went away from James Franklin because that's been their DNA. That's been their DNA. It's not Georgia. It's not Ole Miss. It's not LSU. I think Brian Kelly's done at LSU too. I mean, I don't think he fits down there.
Yeah.
He's
hanging on.
Then he loses. You don't lose to Vandy.
Yeah.
I mean, Vandy. I love Vandy. They're doing a great job. You can't lose. You cannot live in Louisiana and lose to Vanderbilt.
That's a fact.
I mean,
it's true.
I'm just. They have the hardest jobs. I don't
know, man. Penn State, LSU come knocking. Sheesh.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, so what? And then Penn State has to decide with their closed doors what do they want to do?
What do we want to do?
What do you want to do?
Well, if you just fired the guy that you fired, and a guy who was on the plus side, if you want to look at it this way, 3 or 4 plays away from going to the national championship.
Drew Aller doesn't throw a pick at Oregon.
Well, exactly.
They're undefeated, right? Well, he's hurt. I get it.
So
and
this guy won every year. They're in the top 10 every year, and you almost make national championship.
Top 10 and top 5.
What? That's in the top 10. So to the next guy you hire has to be not. It doesn't have to be a slight home run. It scrapes over the fence. It better be an Ohtani 470 to right center field. And if you're going to bring in, I think he'd do great there. I love him. We all love him. If you're going to sell your boosters on Fran after what you just fired, compared to this guy's not going anywhere now, but it better be a home run on all levels because what you just walked out the door.
They got to get Nick back. Like Penn State's calling Nick.
You have to do something huge.
They're going Nick, and Nick's like, nah.
His wife is like, nah.
Miss Terry's now. We're not doing that.
And we're not doing cold weather.
No, we're not doing. No.
We did Michigan State. We moved to the Bayou.
All right, I'll say it again. If you're a receiver in, I don't know, Baton Rouge, you going to Penn State. Like you grow up in Louisiana, you go to LSU. And your dad went to LSU, and your grandpa went to USU, and your poppy went to USU.
Let me say this: we do have a receiver who could go to Penn State. So I'm going to say to that young man right now, if you want to go to Penn State, go to Penn State. Don't listen to what Mac's saying.
No, but the receiver, listen, that receiver doesn't live in Dade County or Louisiana. It's different. I'm just saying.
And it depends
when
on,
you grow up in that area, it's a very, look, a kid in the Jersey area, the dreams to go to Penn State. Absolutely. And it's a home run. I mean, I'm not disparaging Penn State. I'm just saying it's hard to go. It's hard knowing.
That's legit.
The SEC draw down there. That's real.
On the East Coast. And if I'm a Penn State booster, this is what I'm thinking. On the East Coast, we're it.
Well, it's that or Notre Dame, right? It's like that you're trying to get
and even Notre Dame is kind of like, that's Midwest. Yeah. I'm talking about like East Coast.
No, yeah. I mean,
until you get to the Carolinas.
Like where you start going down. It's like not Rutgers, not Temple, not not
Maryland.
Not Maryland. You're like you're right. Yeah. Like it's like
you're it.
Where you going? Keep going. Where are you going? You got to go to now. You're down to the Carolinas, right?
Exactly.
You're down.
So that's what I'm saying.
Now you're in the SEC world.
country. So they typically win the Northeast as far as recruiting goes. Yeah. So now it's you have to bring in those special guys that like.
So what's Ohio State doing? Because that's different.
I mean, at the end of the day, Ohio State is a brand. Right? It's a brand name.
Well, so I would argue so is Penn State.
Penn State is. But when you walk in the door at Ohio State.
It's a different brand.
It's like
the
Ohio State. It's just different when you are recruit. I mean, if you're a defensive lineman, you got Larry Johnson there, right? As a coach. We're talking about Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa. We're talking about all the lineage of guys that he's had. Right. We're talking about the Zeke Elliott's, all of those guys. Like, it's just Brian Hartline, what he's doing right now is absolutely phenomenal. Ohio State is wide receiver you. If you are a wide receiver and get an offer from Ohio State and you good enough to play there.
There's the name.
I like Brian Hartline. If I was to get the job,
that's a name.
He's the first coordinator. He's going to be the highest paid coordinator. Yeah. And I'm plucking him from Ohio State. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but would you make him the guy?
What? He's the OC at Ohio State.
No, I know, but could you make him the guy at Penn State?
He could be the head coach.
That's what I'm saying. Anyway,
I mean, he's played
listen. I'm totally look. For sure. Penn State is a blue blood brand through and through. Mm-hmm. Have not won a national championship since 1980
right?
86. That's 40 years.
Again, the guy they just fired was one interception away from being in that game that they haven't. And they haven't. It's not that they've lost a bunch of them. They haven't been back.
I understand.
So that's all I'm saying. The next hire has to really. He's got his hands full.
It's a lot of people here listening to us talk about this too.
Are we getting blasted? Or they?
No, everybody's just listening.
Are we just? Oh, all right.
Or they're doing something else.
Are they like stick to high school football?
They're saying maybe they'll eventually come back.
Wrap it up.
I didn't say the rankings, so I'm going to say them real quick. 1 Winslow, 2 Washington Township, 3 St. Augustine Prep, 4 Glassboro, 5 Camden, 6 Burlington Township, 7 Cedar Creek, 8 Kingsway, 9 Atlantic City, 10 Cherry Hill East, 11 Haddonfield. No changes again. We're going to have an extravaganza next week, Mac. Playoff preview. You ready?
Let's go.
Not yet. You can't be ready yet.
We got to see what happens this weekend. One game at a time.
A week to get ready.
We got a week to get ready. We'll be all right.
We're looking forward to it. It's always one of the most fun shows of the year. Thank you, everybody who watched tonight. Be sure to share this out. Got to thank Rod, of course, and his company, D2 Sports Network. He gets it all done here at Studio B. You got to contact Rod if you need anything in terms of AV stuff. You need videos, you need audio, you need podcasts, you need photos. You contact Studio B, Rod, D2 Sports Network. It's going to be a great weekend, Mac. We're here.
We are here. I will not be here. I'll be.
Oh, you'll be gone over the weekend, but you'll be here next Wednesday night.
I'm here next Wednesday night. I'm at the big noons. That's another thing. I can't even get started. Why they playing Ohio? Why they playing Indiana, UCLA at noon? That ain't fair to UCLA. It's noon. That's 9 o'clock in those kids' bodies. That's crazy.
Home field advantage.
Home field advantage for the Hoosiers, man. Enjoy your trip. Safe travels out there.
Yes.
We'll see you all next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m., as we preview the public school playoffs for the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. Mark Trible, Rod Self, Tim McAneney. See you then.
Go get it.